You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. New today at 4, continuing coverage of the shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI has released the photos of who they're calling the person of interest in the shooting.
The FBI in Salt Lake City posted on its X account the 2 photos this morning and is asking the public's help to identify the person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Kirk at Utah Valley University. The manhunt continues for the person who murdered Charlie Kirk.
That's right. The FBI says it recovered what it believes to be the shooter's gun, along with, quote, good video evidence as they work to track down the suspected gunman. Michael Yoshida has the very latest.
The FBI releasing photos of a person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk.
We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead.
Wednesday's deadly shooting happened while the Trump ally and conservative activist was speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University.
We didn't know that this was a single shot event. There's been so many mass shootings. Like, that was what was going through my head, is what's going to happen next after that shot.
The 31-year-old Kirk was rushed to the hospital where he later died.
Knowing that they are doing everything that they can to find the person responsible is reassuring.
Cell phone video from the event shows what appears to be an individual in dark clothing on a rooftop of one of the school's buildings. Investigators saying they have surveillance video showing the suspected gunman.
We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location.
After firing the deadly shot, investigators say the gunman jumped off the building and fled into a nearby neighborhood.
We have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
The FBI is analyzing the weapon, including, according to CNN sources, cultural phrases written on the rifle and ammunition. In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
The FBI also says it recovered footwear impressions and a palm print, along with a screwdriver, which authorities say may have helped the shooter take the rifle apart. They are offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification and arrest of this person responsible.
Multiple historically black colleges and universities in several states were put on lockdown today. Virginia State University had to abruptly close due to a campus threat. VSU did not elaborate on what kind of threat it received. However, the school said no injuries have been reported. Students that live on that campus were told to remain indoors. Hampton University also closed due to a potential campus threat. Several other HBCUs were placed on lockdown today due to potential threats. They include Alabama State, Clark Atlanta, Spelman, Southern, and Bethune-Cookman.
Well, Charlie Cook's death has sparked a lot of controversy online, prompting state politicians to speak out.
Our Tanisha Shaw shows us the local response.
Brady and Sarah, this morning, Governor Tony Evers spoke out about Charlie Kirk's assassination during a 9/11 event in Stoughton this morning.
It would be great if we could find some way to control firearms, but that's always something that's very, very difficult. So in the meantime, we're really sad and hopeful that as a country we can come together and end these situations.
When asked if the deadly shooting prompts Evers to want more security, he stated that security is always a concern for him and his team. Hours later, State Assembly Speaker Robin Vos spoke about Charlie Kirk and had a moment of silence to remember him during Thursday's session.
We must, as Americans, speak with each other. The way Charlie did. The way Charlie did. And we need prayers for the country which is torn apart under attack from within, prayers for our own souls that we hold ourselves accountable for the way we treat others.
I'll have more from local politicians tonight at 6. Sarah and Brady, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Tanisha. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Congressman Derek Van Orden here is blaming members of the media for Kirk's death. On the steps of the Capitol this morning, Van Orden was asked an unrelated question about the shooting, and he responded like this before waving reporters off with his hand.
Every single one of you here, you're at fault. Hey, you know what? Knock it off. Knock it off.
Do you believe Republicans have a problem?
You are responsible for that assassination yesterday. You should be ashamed of yourself.
What about the Democratic lawmakers?
Previously, Van Orden posted on X that he was praying fervently for Kirk's family and called the shooting left-wing political violence. He also said, quote, "The gloves are off." Again, investigators are still looking for the suspect and have not yet determined a motive at this time. And we've been keeping you up to date and bringing you up to date on every developing moment on this story online at channel3000.com and in our Channel 3000 News app.
Well, meanwhile, over in Colorado, authorities have identified the boy they say opened fire with a handgun at a high school near Denver yesterday. Sheriff's deputies say 16-year-old Desmond Holly kept shooting and reloading. Police say officers arrived within 2 minutes and found 2 students with gunshot wounds. Officers say Holly fatally shot himself. Whether the suspect knew the victims is still under investigation as police search for a motive, but they say he was radicalized by some extremist network.
Obviously, we're going to focus on that suspect's home, his car, his locker, all the things that we need to do to find out more about him and maybe why this happened.
The student body of more than 900 started the school year less than a month ago. The sheriff's office said many of those students witnessed the shooting.
Well, it was a foggy start to the morning and a really warm one again. Meteorologist Blaze Keller has all of the details of the first warm weather.
That's right. It was a foggy start. We had a couple of dense fog advisories for a couple of our counties, and we could be dealing with that fog yet again as we go into Friday. Let's take a look at future track timing out that fog. Likely going to develop as we go into that 10, 11 midnight time frame, especially closer to Lake Michigan, and then expand its way back westward. We're going to watch to see when that fog really starts to thin on out of here, likely beginning around the morning commute. If it lasts through at least the late morning hours, we may only top out in the low 80s on Friday once we get to those mostly sunny conditions. But if that fog is out of here by the 7, 8 o'clock time frame on Friday, then we could easily get back into those mid 80s to end the work week. Tonight we'll head into the 50s, right around where we should be for this time of year. As I mentioned, we're looking at mostly sunny conditions after that fog burns off Friday morning. Now into the weekend, we are going to be dodging some rain showers. We'll track out those on future track as well and take a look at our temperature trends. Are they going to stay warmer than average, or are we going to be cooling back down? All of that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Blaze. In more local news, a 91-year-old is fighting for their life in the hospital after being hit by a car in Janesville this morning. According to Janesville police, a vehicle leaving a business parking lot on West Delavan Drive hit the 91-year-old at about 7:30 this morning. The pedestrian was first taken to Mercy Hospital, then taken by MedFlight to University Hospital. No charges have been filed yet, but this investigation is ongoing.
And the Grant County Sheriff's Office is investigating the death of a woman found Wednesday night in her driveway. A neighbor called for a welfare check at 6:15 last night after seeing the woman unconscious in her driveway. The responding deputy found the woman dead. The Wisconsin State Crime Lab Crime Scene Response Team is assisting with this investigation. An autopsy is scheduled to determine the cause and manner of death. Officials say there is no immediate threat to the public.
Today marks 24 years since the deadly terror attacks of 9/11. Members of Governor Tony Evers' administration came together to honor those who were killed. At Lake Kaganza State Park in Stoughton, they came together to do acts of service. The governor declared a state day of service and remembrance to honor the nearly 3,000 individuals who died that day.
By coming together today, we show that we can honor the past by building a brighter future. We roll up our sleeves today, whether it's to help clean, plant, or restore. We're creating an amazing outdoor recreation opportunity for our neighbors, for our families, and for generations to come. No act of service is too small, and when we work together, the impact can be extraordinary.
A list of potential volunteer opportunities, including virtual options, can be found on the Volunteer Wisconsin website.
And nearly 3,000 people lost their lives on September 11th, 24 years ago today. The victims lived in New York, Washington, D.C., and 27 other states. It's a moment in our nation's history that will never be forgotten. Part of that promise to never forget was to never stop working to identify the people killed that day. It took nearly 24 years, but Paul Keating and his siblings have a new sense of closure after their mother Barbara's remains were finally identified. Barbara was on one of the planes hijacked by terrorists on 9/11. Her remains were identified along with 2 others last month, Ryan Fitzgerald and a woman whose family is choosing to withhold her name. It's part of the ongoing efforts by the New York City Office of Chief Medical Examiner.
They asked us for the DNA when they thought that there was a chance they found hair in a hairbrush, and she was on the short list, obviously, from the plane. My mom was just a super woman who certainly should not have been murdered in that way.
So far, officials have identified 1,653 remains from the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center in 2001. These latest identifications came from outreach to families for DNA reference samples and analysis using the capabilities of the city's DNA lab.
Well, next on Live at 4, Blaze has another look at your forecast.
And how one man is making sure future generations never forget the events of 9/11. We'll be right back. Guess what, everyone? Sweet and salty nuts have a new snack to look forward to. M&M's is adding honey roasted peanut to its lineup. The permanent edition joins M&M's peanut along with peanut butter, plain, and then peanut butter mega.
That's for the real deal.
I hear there's peanut butter and jelly too. This one will soon be available in single share sizes starting this month.
And I think I heard about like a cookies and cream, but I just looked up odd M&M's flavors. There was a chili nut flavored, so like a spicy one, pecan pie or pecan, if you want to get fancy. And there was also, what was it? Red velvet, which I think I tried because I like red velvet cake.
So what's your favorite flavor?
Just plain. Oh, no, sometimes the peanut butter, but usually just plain. What about you?
The peanut butter are my favorite, but I will not stop eating them, and it makes me sick to my stomach because I cannot
They're hard to put down.
They're hard to put down.
Well, the weather is so nice, you may as well grab some M&Ms or whatever you'd like to treat yourself. Blaze, what is your M&M flavor of choice?
Probably just the classic peanut M&Ms. My mom really likes them, so for her birthday, I always get her a big bag that usually my stepdad eats, but she'll get one or two. So I've been conditioned to, I think, really like peanut M&Ms. Yes, it will be a wonderful day to eat some peanut M&Ms out there tomorrow. After that morning fog birds on off, we're set to climb into at least the upper 70s to low 80s. As I mentioned, if that fog sticks around into the late morning hours, so at least 11 noon tomorrow, we'll probably hang out here. But if that fog burns off sooner rather than later, say 9, maybe 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, then we could easily climb into those mid-80s because we're going to have sunshine and we're going to have southerly winds. Those southerly winds are also going to help bring back that rain chance as we head Friday night into Saturday. We'll dry out Sunday, and then we'll see another chance for rain as we kick off next week. But both chances, Friday night into Saturday and then Monday, they're not with organized systems. These are just going to be what we kind of call hit or miss, pop-up showers and thunderstorms. So Future Track taking us Friday night into early Saturday. There's a look at those showers as they move on through. Maybe a couple of thunderstorms, not expecting anything to be severe because, again, we don't have any sort of support for these thunderstorms in the mid or upper levels of the atmosphere. And those two layers, they're very crucial for that severe weather development. So if we don't have it, the chance for severe weather is going to be really low. We dry out as we head further into Saturday, and again, the cloud cover will decrease as we go throughout the day, leaving us with more sunshine for Saturday and then further into Sunday. The rain chance or the rain totals over the next 7 days. This includes the weekend and on Monday, looking about 1/4 of an inch of rain or less. This is about 1/10 of an inch in this shade of green. The lightest green here is a couple hundredths of an inch of rain. So a very, very, very small amount. Not heavy rain, which is some good news. We are coming off of a very wet August, especially here across southern Wisconsin. Ozaukee County was the wettest county in Wisconsin, while not in our coverage area. They picked up almost 9 inches of rain throughout the month of August, which is over 5.5 inches more than what they normally would accumulate during the month. However, if you split Wisconsin in half, northern Wisconsin, they were drier than average, so we don't really need a whole lot of heavy rain here. But I have noticed the grass is starting to get a little bit more brown, so we could use the rain that's coming this weekend. You can read more about how August fared for not only our coverage area, but for the rest of the state in our latest Beyond the Barometer on our website under the weather category. There is a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. Other than those rain chances Saturday and then on Monday, we remain dry, hanging out in the mid-80s over the weekend. And then we cool off just a little bit back into the upper 70s to low to mid-80s throughout next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Blaze. Coming up on Live at 4, if you're looking for a home, there might be some good news.
Plus, it's not M&M's, but we'll tell you about a chocolate facing a recall. Stay with us. Well,
a brand of Dubai chocolate snack sold at Costco has been recalled due to an allergy risk. The item is called Dubai Style Chocolate and is made by Rolling Pin Baking Company. Rolling Pin says the allergen statement on the packaging notes they contain gluten when the labels should say wheat. According to the company, Costco sold the snacks between May 1st and August 29th. Rolling Pin believes the health risk is minimal because the allergen statement lists gluten, which is found in wheat.
And some good news for would-be home buyers now. Mortgage rates are dropping for the first time in months. According to data released today by Freddie Mac, for the week ending September 11th, the 30-year fixed mortgage rate averaged 6.35%. That's down from 6.5% last week. It also is the sharpest weekly drop in borrowing costs so far this year. This comes as the bond market flashes signals that the U.S. economy may be deteriorating more than expected after new data suggests the U.S. labor market was much weaker than previously thought.
Well, here are the numbers on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones is up 617 points. The Nasdaq is up 157. The S&P 500 up 55. Well, this is the day every year we remember the solemn events of 9/11. This year we are marking 24 years since the terrorist attacks, and millions of us still have vivid memories of that terrible day 24 years ago.
We do, and we also have nearly a third of Americans who were born after 9/11. Nicole Sagana has the story of one survivor who's sharing his story with teachers so future generations never forget.
As soon as I exited the building and went underneath that overhang, I took one step towards that window and I got blown about 40 feet in the air.
It's been 24 years since firefighter Bill Spade escaped the rubble of the World Trade Center. He was one of the last men to evacuate the North Tower.
I started getting buried, and I said goodbye to my wife. I said goodbye to my two boys, and when I had to say goodbye to my 2-month-old son, John, it was the worst part of the whole day. I said, you'll never know your dad, and that really hurt.
That day, he was also the sole survivor of Staten Island, New York's Elite Rescue 5. In all, 343 of New York's bravest perished.
My brother-in-law, Tommy, had called me, and he said, Bill, they're all gone. And I named every guy I was having breakfast with that morning before the call came in. I named them once, I named them twice, and he said, Bill, they're all gone. It's the worst day of my life.
Ever since, Spade recounts his memories so others will never forget.
The alarms go off, and we're headed out for the Trade Center.
Forgetting is easier now because nearly 122.4 million Americans were not yet born when it happened or were too young to remember.
I could see the smoke coming from that first tower, that North Tower.
So every summer, teachers from across the country gather at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, located on the site where the World Trade Center towers once stood, and watch Spade turn his personal nightmare into a history lesson.
And each time we got it over a little bit more.
Among the audience of educators gathered from 30 states and abroad is Bella Forget.
I was born in 2003, so I don't have any memories of 9/11. I'm a teacher that's going into this kind of blindly.
It's tough to teach terrorism to third graders.
Absolutely. They're just starting to become aware of what's going on in the world and the world around them and how it works. So to bring in that heavy subject matter is definitely difficult.
After graduating college in May, Forget will now introduce 9/11 to her first class of third graders in West Virginia. How did you feel when you heard Bill Spade talk about his experience?
It was one of the most meaningful things I think I've ever heard in my whole life.
What makes talking to teachers distinct?
They're going to pass it on to the younger generation. And the whole time my kids went to school, I'd ask them every year, what were you taught about 9/11 today? And they all said, oh, nothing, just a moment of silence. And it would infuriate me every year that that's the most we can do is have a moment of silence.
We can do so much better than a moment of silence.
Correct. So much better. Always know where you're at.
24 years later, a lesson to fill the silence so that future generations of Americans never forget. For CBS Mornings, Nicole Skanga, New York.
Do you remember what you were doing that day?
Yeah, we were just talking about when and where, and I was working in TV news at a set just like this, ready to go on when we had to stop. and watched that happen and didn't think it was real.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. I was in high school, and from homeroom to math class, like that's when we had heard, and so TVs were on all day. And then when you think about it, we didn't have smartphones or internet like right at our fingertips, so we were finding out like in real time.
Right.
Yeah, just how serious it was 24 years ago.
Exactly. I had family living there too, and no way to say, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Took a long time. All right, great story too. Coming up on Live at 4, the nation continues to process the shooting death of political activist Charlie Kirk.
We're learning new details from the FBI, including seeing photos of a person of interest. Plus, we have local reaction to the violence. Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. It's a pretty nice day out there.
It is. It's kind of warm, actually.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but not, compared to what we saw before. We thought we were getting fall and surprise.
Summer said, I'm not done with you yet.
Yeah.
Just hold on. But we are looking at some changing weather this weekend. Our weather words today, dodging showers this weekend. But speaking of fall, look at those colors.
I know. I love it.
Creeping out.
I know. They're there. Some want to avoid it, but it's coming. And we have Blaze out on the weather patio where I don't know if we have any colors changing, but it's a pretty nice day.
Yes, it's a beautiful day out here. Some of the leaves are beginning to yellow, but I've certainly seen trees on my drive into work that are certainly changing more than the trees here on the weather patio. We're going to be dodging showers this weekend, but before that, a little bit of fog as we wake up on Friday. That's going to start to creep on in as we go overnight. Stick with us through at least the morning commute and then lift by the time we go into the late morning, early afternoon. The later that happens, the cooler we will likely be as we go into Friday, but we're still looking at a day with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. Maybe if the fog clears out sooner rather than later, the mid to low 80s. It's 78 in Madison. Many of us across central and southern Wisconsin underneath plenty of sunshine, mostly to partly sunny. Temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Dew points are still rather low, so the humidity is low for this time of afternoon. Now we have Andrew Banstra, sports director Andrew Banstra, up there in Lambeau Field. If any of our viewers are heading up to Lambeau, I'm sure you would have had to hit the road by now, or just want to catch the Packers game as they take on the Commanders. It is going to be another beautiful evening for football weather up there in Lambeau, with temperatures in the mid to low 60s, partly cloudy. All you're going to need is that light jacket. Temperatures are expected to stay warm over the next maybe week to week and a half. We'll take a look at just how long and how warm we will be coming up in the full forecast.
Thank you, Blaze. We are continuing to follow the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. Wednesday's deadly shooting happened while the Trump ally and conservative activist was speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University. The 31-year-old was rushed to the hospital, where he later died.
We didn't know that this was a single shot event. There's been so many mass shootings. Like, that was what was going through my head, is what's going to happen next after that shot.
Cell phone video from the event shows what appears to be an individual in dark clothing on a rooftop of one of the school's buildings. Investigators say they have surveillance video showing the suspected gunman.
And Charlie Kirk's death has sparked a lot of controversy online, prompting state politicians to speak out. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers spoke out about Charlie Kirk's assassination during a 9/11 event this morning in Stoughton. When asked if this deadly shooting prompts Evers to want more security, he stated that security is always a concern for him. Hours later, State Assembly Speaker Robin Vos spoke out on the state floor at the Capitol.
It would be great if we could find some way to control firearms, but that's always something that's very, very difficult. So in the meantime, we're really sad and hopeful that as a country we can come together and end these situations.
We must, as Americans, speak with each other. The way Charlie did. The way Charlie did. And we need prayers for the country which is torn apart under attack from within, prayers for our own souls that we hold ourselves accountable for the way we treat others.
News 3 Now's Tanisha Shaw will have more from local lawmakers tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Well, next on Live at 4, if you saw someone in sudden cardiac arrest, what do you know how to help them?
A student group has 2 new machines that could make the difference between life and death. We'll show you where they are and how to use them. Stay with us.
Well, you hear the phrase every second counts a lot, but when it comes to sudden cardiac arrest, it's actually very true. According to the American Heart Association, 350,000 people in the United States die from sudden cardiac arrest every year.
It's a big number, and a local student group at UW-Madison is trying to change those statistics. And you can find 2 new machines in Madison that could make all the difference.
Class is back in session here at UW-Madison, and you can see behind me, they're setting up for a concert. It's just one of the many outdoor events that you'll find here on the Library Mall. But what would you do if you saw someone go into sudden cardiac arrest? Would you know how to help them? Would you know how to react? Well, there is a new machine right here at this location that can help lead to a better outcome and avoid tragedy if you know how to use it. Joining me with Cardiac on Campus is Erica Lowe. Thanks for being on with me.
Thank you.
So tell me, what was the inspiration behind your group making sure that these 2 AED stations were put outside where people can have access to them?
Yeah, so our nonprofit was started in 2015 after the untimely death of John Dorinda. The sister of John Dorinda, as well as the cousin, really came together and started this nonprofit to raise awareness. And as students, it's been an evolving group of students that have run this organization, and we just really wanted to get out into the community and place 2 AEDs where there's people every day. Library Mall is surrounded with students, community members. There's always events going on, people hanging out. So having a spot here and then also in James Madison Park is just vital for, one, exposing people to that AEDs are around and they should be used, but then also just to have them available.
Yeah, we always hear that phrase, every second matters, and when it comes to sudden cardiac arrest, that is very true, and having access to one of these can really change the game for a person. Do you want people to know that this, if you know how to use one of these and you get it to someone going through cardiac arrest, that could have a much better outcome?
Yeah, you're totally right. Seconds matter, especially in sudden cardiac arrest. So when an AED is already nearby and bystanders can step in right away, it just improves the outcome of the patient tenfold. So if somebody can get an AED and start bystander CPR right away, the chance of survival just increases. And we just want to let people know you don't need to be trained to use an AED. They're for anyone. They're set up so that anyone can open up this cabinet, take the AED out. It tells you step by step what to do. So they're meant for anyone. They're meant for students to be able to use. They're meant for children, adults. You don't need to be a medical professional to use these devices. They're really meant for anyone.
Because I would imagine just someone who is walking down the street sees this and they might think, oh, that's intimidating. Like, look at that machine, what would I do? But as you said, it shows you what to do, and then there are these handy instructions there.
Yep, exactly. And this old AED is nice because it even walks you through CPR. So once you have the pads on, it tells you exactly what to do. It tells you when to start CPR. It tells you how fast you need to go, how far you need to press. So it's really just neat that it tells you exactly what to do, so there's no guessing. But also, I like to remind people that anything is better than nothing. So even if it's not perfect, it's still better than doing nothing. You would rather just step in and try and start something, and the medical professionals are already on their way. So as long as you get something started, it's gonna help.
So this alerts 911 when you are actively using it?
Yep, as soon as you pull this cabinet down, an alarm's gonna go off, so people around you will be able to hear it. And then once the alarm goes off, it notifies the police department, the fire department right away. They'll send somebody without you even needing to call.
Yeah, and you touched on it, putting these outside, that was a big goal for your group. And you see these sometimes indoors, but why was it so important to have these outside?
Specifically in this location, a lot of these businesses aren't open 24/7. So with AEDs placed in buildings, it's great when an incident happens inside. But a lot of times these outdoor events where people are congregating in large numbers, there's not an AED available. So having something outside, it just increases the ability for it to be used, especially when there's these events that are happening outside. I mean, we've got a concert getting set up right now, so an event like that, it would be here ready to go.
And then the one at James Madison Park, I mean, same situation. People are at that park. This is just one more resource to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, exactly. It's right next to the basketball courts. It's right along the path. I mean, there's people out there playing Frisbee and throwing balls all the time, so it's just nice that it's there.
One final question. By being part of Cardiac on Campus, knowing that you could be saving lives and your group doing all this work, what does that mean to you?
I think I feel a lot of pride. One, for being a student and spending my time on campus doing something that feels really empowering and impactful. And I know that when I come back after I graduate and I walk down Library Mall and I see this Stave Station, it's just gonna make me feel, I don't know, just really proud to be a part of something like that. But it's also just a huge step in my leadership skills of being able to tell people the importance of AEDs and just talking to community members. And overall, it's just been a really rewarding experience, and I can't thank this organization enough.
And where can people go to find out more about your organization?
We have a website, Cardiac on Campus. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all at Cardiac on Campus.
Thank you very much, Erica.
Thank you.
Yeah, those outdoor locations are very handy to have.
And she's pretty tremendous, too.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see how much students care and how much they know. That location on Library Mall, you mentioned James Madison Park. How many are needed is the other question.
Yeah, so really, like we were saying, like seconds, minutes matter. And according to the American Heart Association, there's a 3-minute rule. So you want to get to it in 3 minutes. So if you go throughout your business and school and time yourself, how long does it take me to get to this location or that location? That's how you can determine how many you need to safely respond to this. And truly, like if you've never used one, it is voice automated. So you turn it on and it has like vocal prompts, like she was saying. So it tells you like step 1, step 2, and helps you keep time with CPR as well.
So don't be intimidated.
Yeah, very easy to use. And if you want to learn how to properly use an AED or how to do CPR, you can find training sessions near you by visiting redcross.org.
Great job. All right. Well, the Packers are back in action at Lambeau Field tonight again, taking on the Washington Commanders. But if you want to watch the game, you might have to spend some extra money.
That's because tonight's game is an Amazon Prime exclusive, and that means you'll need Prime to watch the game. Amazon Prime membership costs $14.99 per month, but here's a little trick. New subscribers, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial. Kickoff is set for 7:15. The more you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, coming up next on Live at 4, Blaze has a look ahead at the weekend already in our First Warn weather forecast. Well, we're taking a live look right now at the Edgewater Sky Cam. Can't really see too much sun out there. You can on the lake. It's gorgeous. A few bugs, but that doesn't bother anybody else.
Yeah, it looks like a nice day to be out there, but we are expecting some showers for the weekend. Let's get a look at our First Warn forecast. Here's meteorologist Blaze Keller.
That's right, just hit or miss showers and maybe a few non-severe thunderstorms on Saturday. They may begin later Friday night, not looking at widespread rain or a complete washout this weekend. We'll see more sunshine as we go later into Saturday, and the nice conditions continue into Sunday as well. Tonight we'll hang out where we should be for this time of year, low 50s, a little bit more cloud cover closer to Lake Michigan, as well as a little bit of fog as well. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow morning with Savannah in case any of those dense fog advisories are issued for where you live. Tomorrow, if that fog burns off sooner rather than later, we might easily slip into the low to mid 80s. But if the fog sticks around for a little bit, kind of acting like morning cloud cover, we could easily only get into the upper 70s to low 80s. We'll have mostly sunny conditions by the afternoon, and we'll have southerly winds. So we'll have the nice warm up, but the fog could act like clouds. And if we get rid of them sooner rather than later, we're going to easily get into those mid 80s. Then the rain comes on Saturday, but it's done by Saturday afternoon. We sit underneath sunny conditions for the rest of Saturday into Sunday, and these nice warmer temperatures are going to be sticking around through really the next couple of days, if not maybe the next week to week and a half. Our forecast highs compared to normal, anywhere from about 5 to 15 degrees above average, because again, our average daytime high for this time of year continues to get cooler and cooler. So these numbers will change a little bit, but it just goes to show that we have replaced that pocket of cooler air as we kicked off September and are now sitting underneath a much warmer air mass. We're in fact looking at about a 60 to 70% chance of being warmer than average through our extended forecast from the 17th through the 21st. And if we extend that even further through the 25th of September, so now we're getting closer to the end of the month, we're still sitting underneath about a 40 to 50% chance of being warmer than average. Is that by a degree or several degrees? We'll just have to wait and see. But we're not eyeing any big cool downs like how we started off the month. Interestingly enough, August, with the data that was just released Tuesday by the National Centers for Environmental Information, or NCEI, it was a fairly average month for the state of Wisconsin. Only 2 counties recorded a warmer average temperature for the month, and Walworth County was the lone county to record a cooler average temperature for the month. So pretty average month for Wisconsin in August, and you can read about that full recap in our latest Beyond the Barometer. You can head on over to our website or scan the QR code there. I break down how each county that we cover here at News 3 Now fared for the month of August. As I mentioned, the warmer than average temperatures are sticking with us all throughout the extended forecast. The rain does return on Monday, doesn't look super impressive, and then we dry out for the rest of next week, looking at possibly some showers and thunderstorms by that following weekend. Overall, though, a pretty solid forecast as we continue to make our way through the middle of September.
Well, today on September 11th, we are also thinking about the servicemen and women who have fought for our freedom through many generations.
And we're giving you a glimpse of a flight that honors their bravery and sacrifices. Our photojournalist Chris Hawbaker shows us the latest Badger Honor Flight.
Today is mission number 61.
Whether you served in Korea, Vietnam, or in the years that followed, your actions shaped the course of history.
Try and get our photo shoot out right away.
At the Iwo Jima Memorial primarily here for the Marine Corps. You know, it was a very difficult battle, and it's on both sides. Many people died over this island. These 5 individuals raising the flag over Mount Suribachi, and it's fortitude of the United States back in the time of the greatest generation.
You can see the groan or the grunt on their faces as they're lifting up the flag. I've got a friend at home, and he says he was on site when they lifted the flag.
Gives us a chance to see things that we haven't seen for the people that's done a lot. So
some it's closure, some that, you know, they have friends, family, names on the wall, whether they served with them or knew them.
All this thanks to my uncle that was in Korea and what he had to go through, seeing this healing. I'm a Vietnam vet. Healing is one of the biggest things.
I get to travel here. I get to put back together the memories that I had. What a golden opportunity this is.
It's awesome because we get a chance to meet our fellow veterans.
It's the camaraderie of all the different branches of service when you have the veterans put together like this.
Coming in, it's really great. They give us a welcome home. So.
Once you get off the plane, get to the top of the escalator and you hear that band. And you're seeing folks from one end of the airport all the way almost towards baggage claim. That's what it's all about. We've given these veterans here the welcome home that they never got.
And the home of the
Tomorrow on Live at 4, Kayla Dembeck will have the latest news from UW-Madison campus in our Badger Beat. And later on News 3 Now at 5, more on how the nation and local leaders are reacting to the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Well, thanks for joining us today on Live at 4. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Remember, you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News Now at 5 starts right now.